So they'll be calling you a radical. Let's stay on this. This is incredible, historic, and important stuff. So this is where the earthquake was. Sandpoint. Fukushima, Japan's right here. California current, but salmon live here. The steelhead, the Chinook. They come to the mouth of the Columbia, spread all the way up into here, all the way through here. The steelhead are salmon and Chinook. They live here. Not dying in dams, but they live here. Now stay with me. So this is one of the greatest criminal acts in the history of mankind that the Biden administration, that the Trump administration, that the Obama administration, the cover-up of Fukushima, the greatest crime in human history, but the Endangered Species Act. Where's Sierra Club? Where's Greenpeace friends? They won't act. They'll tell you straight up. They told me right to my face, well, it scares our investors. What? They have lawyers. Everybody's in the club. Kill the environment. Now stay with me. This is historic stuff. Okay. Let's go to the annual totals. Now, this is important. Now, remember this number for the year. This is with no gill netting and no fishing. 14,425 for the year. You saw we're in prime time, baby, for the year. They should be getting that a day. Now, stay with me. Of course, we're using the Bonneville because it's the biggest by far. By far. Okay. It's historic work. I've been all over these guys for 10 years. Let's start with the steelhead. 4,100. Now remember, that's with gill netting and fishing. I have verified this, so I've been on this for 10 years since the day. I've talked to every agency there is over and over and over and over. As you know, anybody's followed along. They gill netted and caught well over 400,000. The official number with the gill netting and the fishing, because you have to report every steelhead you catch, same with the gill nets, is 826,000 is the official number. 826,000. Now, they have a short life cycle. Some of them can, live to be 7, 8 years old, but it doesn't happen. Rarely do they live more than a couple years old. They get caught, they get fish, whatever, but they go to sea, very short life cycle, and come back. That's why this number is so important. Chinooks go to sea for 5 years. We'll get back to that. So remember that. 800,000. Well over 800,000. Fukushima happens. Decline. This is when they come out of denial and started no gill netting. So we go from, there's no gill netting right here. None. They didn't gill net last year. 800,000 to 77,000. Now this is what's so concerning. They're going to start gill netting on. They're going to extinct these fish. They're going to start gill netting on Sunday. What the hell? What the hell? This is the greatest. They're going to extinct these fish. You're talking about the hollow. Steelhead salmon, trout or salmon live here. They live here. They live here. They're going to extinct them. They gill net in front of the river. Now let's go back. Now remember these numbers. And remember, that's gill netting. Gill nets don't lie. Well over 800,000 2010. Now we can run regression and computer bound model. This is for the big kids. To 77,000. Well over 90%. Well, it gets worse. So let's go back to the graph. This is the smoking gun of the Fukushima catastrophe. They're dying at sea. It took them 6 years to agree. Kevin Blanche told you what they told you on 60 Minutes. Well, Leslie Stahl, the Lake Barrett. Well, this is like going to the moon fixing this. Way worse than that. Where that? Pacific Ocean's right there. This is so alarming. It's the biggest story on the planet. You see that graph. So the 10-year mean, of course, is crashed. You can see where we're at. These are the days. What the hell? hell? No gill netting? Oh my God. Last year, 2,300, as bad as it was 3,000. What the hell? 342? Whoa, 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 wait a minute. Whoa, whoa. 14,000 for the year? No gill netting, they're going to start on Sunday. So let's, well, oh God, Chinook, okay? Let's go to the Chinook. Now remember, this is important historic stuff because Chinook salmon, on average, go to sea for 5 years. Again, we're using the Bonneville because it's the big beast, 2.5 miles long. Come up here. The drainages from this whole region come into the mighty Columbia River, well up into Canada, all over here, clear into Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, used to make it clear to Utah. Now, this has been going on for years. A lie. Let me show you something. You saw we go from 800,000 to 14,000. That's the greatest collapse of a species in human history. Bar none. Bar none. This is the greatest. My PhD in, you know, everybody thought I was crazy when I thought these meltdowns are pouring into the Pacific Ocean. It's going to boil the ocean. It's going to cause, Kevin Blanch, play back the tape, it's going to cause a heat bubble over the Western Ice. It's going to make the Great Salt Lake go dry. Every word I've said, tide pools are going to collapse. By the way, I've done all this historic work while I'm full of cancer. I was given 2 months to live on 11/11/11. I can't make this story up. They live here. It's the fastest river in the world. Remember when the bridge landed on Gold Beach? Or in Corvallis in 6-7 days? Never happened to Chernobyl, never happened to my act. This is the greatest ecological. These are multiple nuclear meltdowns. They pushed into the ocean. Hell of a way to boil a planet. And it's not hypothesis anymore. It's not even field work anymore. The data's there. So let's go to the, again, 800 because it was gill netting, half. That's been verified over and over and over to 14,000 right now. Okay, let's get to the Chinook adult. Again, 800,000. You can double that. And I've talked to them. 1.7 million that year. A little less in 2011. A little less in 2012. And then they started really raging. This was all escapement. Over a million. Over a million. 1.3 million. 2050. Now, this is an important date. Because they go to sea for 5 years. You put this in symphony with Kevin Blanch's tide pool work, the heat bubble hypothesis. First you hypothesize no, then you hypothesize the knowledge, then you do the field work, then you defend your work. Against this tsunami, scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stumped, they're perplexed. That's not science. Like that says all these academia professors, all these NOAA, all these EPA, Greenpeace, Sierra Club, all these people should be rounded up. These are crimes against freaking the planet. So hardcore. Okay. So I'm working with NOAA. I'm working with ODFW, Oregon Department of Wildlife, and WWFW, Washington. I'm working with all of them. They're all laughing at me. They're doing videos. Army Corps engineers, they're all laughing at me. Kevin, we have record returns. That number officially was 2.7 million. That's official. Total, because the gill netting and the fishing. That's the official number. It's out there. They'll verify it. Based on escapement, they have very good modeling. They have buoys all over out here. They track every single little fry, smolts that gets out. They know they have good buoys. Their modeling is extremely accurate. Their modeling was so accurate in 2016. They came in within 2,000 fish. ODFW, all of them. Every year, that's how accurate their modeling is. So they hypothesized right here that there would be 1.7 million without gill netting. So they had 3.4 million total. I put my number at 680,000. They're all laughing at me. They're like, oh, Kevin Blanch got it right one year. The next year, they had their modeling at over 3 million with the gill netting fishing. I put mine at 480,000. Came in for, well, once his luck, twice his skill. I put mine at 333,000. They had theirs again, well over 3 million. You know, with after the gill netting, they had theirs at I believe 1.6 or 7 million. I put mine, I'm within 3,000 fish. Once is luck, twice skill. The trend ain't your friend is recorded history. Now this is when they pulled the gill netting. I had my number down around 280,000 of it, and I moved it down to 240, 230. Then they pulled the gill netting, so I doubled back to 440. Then I backed to 420, came in at 380. Same with 2020. There's been no gill netting, no fishing till Sunday. So all you scientists, you professors, the bias is gone now because we have the 10 years of data. We don't get tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanche does. We don't get dead humans in Bono. By the way, the Olympics, when they're now going crazy over there, they're coming out of the ocean, the triathlete puking his guts out. The Mexican softball team, Birds from, they're playing softball in Fukushima, Japan. 40 miles from the reactor. They're killing those young women. They're murdering them. Oh, oh, really? Oh, really? Look at Bob Nichols' work. He'll show you his freelance work. Because Noah crashed RadNet. Now, Gina McCarthy was head of RadNet. They took down the dishes that day. Branch, I know what happened inside the Situation Room. 100% cover up, make it so. They radiated the troops from here. USS Reagan, 32 ships were sent into them. Obama backed them out. Trump met with Abiy 18 times. There's an article out there, the Japanese revolving door. I talked to Nato Khan in Del Mar, California, right there. He was the prime minister. He was forced out. They propped up Abiy. And they're saying, the longest sitting PM in Japanese history. For a Japanese PM to come to the United States once is a major story. Abiy comes, he goes to Harvard Media Lab. Well, Aaron Swartz, why would he go there? What? He met with Trump 18 times. First one in after the election. I was there in Manhattan. I was there. I took the bus. I was at the White House. Took the bus in the middle of the night. Mar-a-Lago for days. I think they're talking about their golf game. Obama played golf 1,800 times. Trump even more. But Abiy, it's all the cover up. It's the greatest event in human history, bar none. So that's not opinion anymore. First, Kevin Blanche hypothesis. This is full blown out meltdown. It's going to push into the Pacific Ocean. It's the Great Pacific Genocide. It's going to move globally. It's going to cause a heat source unforeseen in the history of mankind. It's going to break the chain. It's going to kill the photoplankton. Big fish eat little fish. This is important too. The Chinook salmon have crashed so hard. That's why you're seeing some coho salmon show up here. Chinook salmon eat coho salmon. It's moved globally across. It's not hypothesis anymore. You can plug in the data right here. You can plug in this data. Anybody can do it. You can run regression. You run regression through your modeling, smoke will come out of your computer. I don't care. Many cycles you run millions. It will point, we call those an outliner. We know something radically crazy, psychotic happened. The Great Drought started in 2011. It's not coincidence. Coincidence does not get it in science. Okay. Mystified, baffled, stumped, perplexed. They said, standing right here, I'm like the Wills. The migration of the Greys are going to start to starve to death. Play back the tape, Your Honor. My army counted 312 just 2 years ago, starved to death 3 years ago before COVID. By the way, I said that she's going to fight back, and this will cause viruses. This will cause a mutation, will cause a virus, which there's no doubt in my mind that COVID is a virus from the meltdowns. Never happened at Chernobyl, never happened at Mayak, never happened to send. Somebody says, well, 350 open-air tests, and you're worried about meltdown. These reactors, you can take every open-air test, which killed my father. Remember, I got leukemia. I was given 2 months to live in 2011, on 11/11. It's important. I spent 5 years in a bone marrow transplant off and on. When I came out, I'd walked the coast. I walked the entire coast. Walked it. California coast. Documented multiple times. At low death. So you run your regression. The modeling will show an outliner, we call those, a major outliner. It will deviate from the mean millions of times. And it points right to there. 2011. So we obviously know something radically crazy happened to the biosphere in 2011. Something acute and radical. Not been going on for years. Something acute and radical. So you tell me what happened here. Did a meteor strike? Did we have 900 Exxon Valdez? Breaking news, kids. Fish swim. Breaking news. Gesturing moves left to right. Oh my God. Which Black Lives Matter was stole from the Million Mass March. That's an argument. The Million Mass March was invented by Kevin Blanch right here on this computer. On the death of Daniel Willard Matthew Stewart. On the death of Aaron Swartz. Well, this even before the death of Aaron Swartz. On the Fukushima disaster. Play back the tape. I gave the inaugural speech. I led the inaugural march. Fukushima, it's the greatest event in human history. It's not opinion. Opinions don't get it. I don't give a shit about opinions. So there you have it. One last time. Let's go back to the graph. These are the most important videos in history. So these criminals Are you kidding me? We're going to start gill netting on Sunday. They're going to extinct these animals. The most hallowed of them all. Steelhead. They're not trout. Trout are salmon. Trout are salmon. They don't live in the rivers. They live here. Just the Pacific Ocean fucking dying. That's all. Just the greatest event in human history. From 826,000 to 14,000 in 10 years. The Chinook salmon from 3 million to 300,000 in 5 years. Oh. Kevin Blanch, the greatest PhD in human history. The Great Pacific Genocide. Think about the slander and the trolls and everybody. Maybe I'll get 311 views. Stand tuned.